At first glance, these just look like glasses. Small, clean, almost boring in the best way possible. And honestly, that's the first win right there. Shout out to whoever finally understood that smart glasses shouldn't T-scream I am a gadget. People genuinely seem to love how low-key these are. And once you put them on, you understand why. They disappear on your face. But what's wild is how much tech is packed into something that looks this normal. Now, rewind a bit. Around 2 years ago, even Realities dropped the first Gen G1 glasses. And for me, that was one of those rare moments where tech actually changed my daily routine. I wore them everywhere. Airports, meetings, travel days, chaotic schedules. Quick glances for flight updates, checking the time, weather, even stock prices while walking through terminals. It wasn't flashy AR, it was wheezyful. It felt different, like a glimpse of how wearables should actually work. Fast forward to the G2 South, and these are clearly built on that foundation. Full transparency here. The pre-production unit I got had issues. Bugs, rough edges, things not working the way they should. There were features I was really excited to test, especially during a Europe trip with Porsche-like tracking heart rate during drives, and I just couldn't rely on them at the time. But this is where ILL say something important. The best tech channels don't just review products. They become part of the feedback loop. And credit where it's due. This team listened. After months of firmware updates and refinement, we're now very close to what feels like a real, polished product. If you check Reddit, which, let's be honest, is where products go to get absolutely roasted, you'll find more and more genuinely happy users. That doesn't happen by accident. Even Realities clearly decided to invest long-term, bringing in ex-Apple engineers and vertically integrating their entire stack. Hardware, software, displays, everything built. That gives them insane flexibility to iterate fast and actually improve core features, instead of slapping on gimmicks. Take the micro displays. For example, these tiny displays project information through an optical waveguide, and because they control the whole pipeline, they can fine-tune things like clarity, brightness, and placement in a way most companies can't. Vertical integration also means better quality control and fewer compromises. They're building exactly what they want, not what suppliers limit them to. Before we even get deep into design, I need to say this. I wore these glasses throughout an entire office renovation. Dust, debris, chaos everywhere, and they kept working flawlessly. No drama, no weird failures. For those of you who've been watching the channel, you know we're expanding the office and building a full lab. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see where that goes. Hardware-wise, coming from the G1 South, nothing felt shocking, and that's actually a good thing. What I appreciate most is that privacy is still clearly a priority. These glasses look like glasses. Slim, minimal, well-designed. No obvious cameras. No glowing indicators. Most people don't even realize they're smart. You'd really have to stare at specific angles to notice the displays. And even then, people usually assume they're just prescription lenses. And that matters. There's a noticeable difference in how people react compared to camera-equipped glasses like the Meta Ray-Bans. I've tried those too, they're great in their own way, but cameras instantly make people uneasy. With these, the room feels calmer. It's subtle, but real. Funny enough, when I first tried the G1 South, I was actually disappointed there was no camera. During renovations, being able to record quick POV clips for contractors would have been super convenient. But the philosophy here is different. These glasses aren't trying to compete with Meta or become content machines. They're focused on information, productivity, and discretion. And honestly, that design choice grows on you. Of course, once you start interacting with them, scrolling dashboards, tapping controls, you kind of give yourself away. And yes, sometimes you'll catch yourself staring upward at nothing, which definitely makes you look a little ridiculous. But over time, the experience has improved massively. One firmware update alone completely transformed the touchpads. Touch registration is now night and day better. It's not perfect, but it's close. Personally, I still prefer using the Ring. When it works, navigating with it feels fantastic. It's intuitive, fast, and just makes sense. Lately, I've been deep into the stock market, and these glasses have basically become my quick check terminal. Stocks, lists, notifications, everything flows smoothly, especially with the Ring. It's like using a touchpad, just without touching your face. But the moment that truly sold me on the G2S happened at the Apple Store opening in Montreal. Converse mode absolutely blew me away. I went in skeptical. I've used AI recorders before, like the Sound Core paired with apps, and they're fine, but they struggle with nuance, accents, speed, context. This thing, it handled fast Montreal French with scary accuracy, word-for-word capture, live translation, and instant summaries. That's not easy. At first, transcripts weren't saving properly, which was frustrating. Then an update dropped 2 days later and suddenly everything worked. Full transcripts, summaries, key points, even the ability to add items directly to lists. When it works like this, it has a solid 10 out of 10. It has one of those features that feels genuinely futuristic without being annoying. I also tested the teleprompter feature, Claw AI. At first I thought it was just another chatbot. It's not. This feels more like remote controlling a computer through AI, opening apps, clicking elements, executing tasks in the cloud. Powerful. Absolutely. A little scary. Also, yes, giving AI that level of access raises real security questions. But there is no denying this is where AI assistants are heading. Navigation has also improved significantly. Last year, accuracy was hit. Now, after a compass calibration feature was added, it's much more reliable. Map loading can still be slow, and sometimes it straight up refuses to load, forcing a restart. But the new UI is leagues ahead of the G1. Cleaner, clearer, more usable. Though, yeah, I still randomly get Mandarin notifications sometimes. Bugs happen. Even AI itself is solid for quick calculations, conversions, and general questions, especially when I'm walking or driving. But voice recognition can be inconsistent, which sometimes pushes me back to using my phone instead. Quick List, however, is incredible when it works. Adding ideas while driving without touching your phone is genuinely valuable, especially if you forget things as easily as I do. The biggest pain point right now is Bluetooth. Car connections can mess things up badly. Getting in or out of a vehicle sometimes freezes the display or breaks the connection entirely. Sleep mode also feels a bit aggressive. If I don't use the glasses for a few hours, I have to open the app just to wake them up. I'd love a smoother low-power standby instead. Battery life, though. Fantastic. I started a Thursday at 100%, used them heavily, continued through Friday and Saturday, and they finally died Sunday morning. That's impressive. Charging is fast too, about 30 minutes for 50%, roughly an hour for full. The case barely drains. And realistically, I'm charging every 3 to 4 days. As for the Ring, it's comfortable, durable, and surprisingly accurate for sleep tracking. I compared it to my Whoop, which I've used for over a year, and the results were shockingly close. Battery life is about 2 days with constant wear. Not perfect, but solid for a first-gen device. It's not mandatory, but it definitely enhances the experience.